Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're gonna check the update that we received, but before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Also, comment what you think about all the things that drop. Some things are pretty good, while others are not as good. So, let's start with the first one, and it's going to be the new limited pack. The new limited set for Lina. So, Flowering Tempest pack. This, as usual, is going to come with a skin. If you like the skin, that's cool, and you can get it. Some say that this skin looks like the basic skin, and while there's similarities in the fact that she's using a skirt, like everything else is different. The jacket is not exactly the same. The other one goes up to the it doesn't cover the elbow, not the elbows, the shoulders. The dress, well, the top is different, the horns are different, the hairstyle is different, so it is like different enough in my opinion. But what do you think about this skin? Of course, the pack comes with one copy of the UR weapon. We're gonna analyze that in its own video. We can check the effects here, but in the banner. We also have the SR weapon, and the SR weapon, it is pretty unique. It's the first SR weapon, limited SR weapon, that has a different effect other than increased damage against super armor. So that is really, really good. Just to have variety. It's not that the SR is good in itself, but it is a good thing to have. And of course it comes with gems. If you want that, that's there. And also, whenever there's one of these, there is a banner. As you can see, I hit pity twice, but I only needed that. That's a good thing. I didn't have to go beyond that. So, here we have Tempest Lina. Tempest Lina is going to be an assist type supporter. And it says, when HP is above 50%, penetration is increased by 10%. That goes up to 20%. When using a skill, reduce cooldown time of skill by 30% by using 20%, 10% when maxed out, of particles. Activates every 10 seconds. If I'm not mistaken, sometimes the demerit changes the scaling. So it is very good for those characters who like to abuse skills. This is amazing. And it is not like super busted because it has the limitation that this cooldown reduction is only going to apply every 10 seconds. But it is just good enough for you to actually use your strongest skill twice. That is amazing. The penetration is not like the best effect in the world, but it is usable. Definitely usable. Then, reduce damage taken from demon type enemies on allies by 15%. That goes up to 30%, and that's really good. As usual, I really should hurry up with that. I need to check which, if this effect actually affects the character that is equipped with this, or if it's only for allies. Because sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I gotta check that. So, the active slashes all enemies with blades aura hidden in cherry blossom that deals 600 damage. That's gonna be 1200 damage when maxed out. So, the support is pretty strong. And not only because of the damage, the cooldown reduction, but also because of the damage reduction on allies. It is 30%. That's a big number. Usually the effects go up to it's 10% or something like that, 15 at most, 20. But whenever there is one that gives 30, those are really strong. Like in the case of Spinel character release supporter, limited supporter, the red Spinel. And then the weapon. Let's see. Sakura Tempest. Sakura Tempest is a very simple weapon. It says increase penetration of Coral Sword Dance by 6%. Increase critical damage by 25%. So that's going to be 12% on Coral Sword. But that's penetration. Remember that. It's not damage increase. And 50% critical damage increase. So I have heard that it is now possible to crit on VR thanks to the adjustments to defense, which is actually kind of good. I mean, getting resistance on VR is okay, but it certainly limited the weapons that we could equip. Now that there's the ability to crit, these weapons become viable once again. So I gotta check if that's true, or how true that is with this weapon. And yeah, having a UR weapon with critical damage increase is very busted, guys. Believe me. Even if it's not like the same as the SR. The SR is 80%. Where is the SR? Weapons here. The SR is 80%, but the stats are higher, so it's definitely worth it. Even with Kirara's weapon, it was really exceptional how she had critical damage increase, and she could just erase anything with this weapon. It is super good. Ingrid suffers from the fact that she has this weapon to compete with, so it is way easier to obtain this than the limited weapon. But Ingrid's weapon is another weapon that deals critical damage. If I can find that weapon, maybe will show it to you. My god, I'm just going to do this. Ingrid. Here it is. This one also increases critical damage, so that's great. In any case, that's the first thing. We have the pack here. And the next one, special limited pack repeat. We have a repeat. Special ops supply. Yes, this one. So this is not a pack. This is a gacha. They say it's a pack, but it's not. So what does this offer you? I'm gonna analyze it here instead of making its own video, because you shouldn't, just so that you know. It says supporter battle Asagi, supporter Umbra Irawa Sakura. So we have a bunch of supporters, and they go up to Oboro. You have both the weapons and the supporters. The last one that you get is Moboboro. So up until that point, both supporters and weapons weren't actually that impressive. They were good, yeah. But, like, Asagi gives you ultimate damage. That's pretty bad. The weapon is a little bit better. Increases skill damage by 50% when maxed out. Performs a counter attack that damages the enemy and knocks back them when dodging immediately after being attacked. When you do the perfect dodge, you're going to do this. And it's usable, definitely. But they are not as busted as some other weapons that we have nowadays. And look at this, 80% and 20% to get an SR, one of those terrible SRs that I just mentioned. This is different. It's one of the few different weapons, but everything else is damage against super armor, which is pretty bad. So you should not roll on this banner. But there's one exception. Besides, the pricing is really, really expensive. If you do it 5 times, that's going to be $126, something like that. You're going to get a ticket to get an UR supporter. And if you do it 10 times, you're going to get this, a ticket for a weapon. Yeah, Gremory. I mean, I guess they had to do the repeat, because they already did the repeat for the F2P ones, the task force emergency plan or whatever, but this just as bad as when it released. So when is the only time when you want to actually roll there? Let's say that you have been playing for a year, no more than a year, and you are a spender. You are okay with spending in the game. In that case, you probably don't have any copy of those. You simply don't have them. So you can actually roll just to get a copy in order to unlock formations. In that case, it's fine to roll. Don't think of that banner as a way to strengthen your account through supporters. it is a way to actually get formation. That's the most value that you're going to get. But honestly, I don't think that's even worth it. I only use one formation nowadays, and it's not Home Alone. I use the name of Fuma. Home Alone is for dailies, but I use the name of Fuma for all the challenging content. And as you can see, all of these are F2P supporters. These are permanent gacha supporters, and this one is an SR, so definitely you have it. So yeah, it's up to you whether you roll on this or not. I just told you, the most value that you get are the formations, and that would be for players who have skipped these supporters. But I don't want to say that none of them are good. Like Murasaki, super good, yes. But what are the chances that you get Murasaki? Sue is also good because of the active. She can basically break the super armor. That's super good. Kurenai is good for PvP. Obori is not good. And there are some weapons the same that can be said to be super good. Dainsleeve, super good. Kokawa style Moondragon, that's also really good. Let's see. Soshu is super good. So yeah. But most of them are just unimpressive, unimportant. So yeah. You decide whether you roll on this or not. I'm just gonna say that you shouldn't if you want to get strong supporters and weapons. This is just basically for the formations. Now, the next one. May seasonal event, login event. So we have a login event as usual. Login. So here we have it. We're gonna have 2 login events, and you're gonna be able to get gems and other resources. Then, after the login event, gifts for all users who log in daily. Yeah. Surprise mission and surprise campaign. So, as usual, we have surprise missions. This is not like very impressive craft facility mission, but hey, it's here. I mean, if you're having trouble crafting stuff, just craft like whatever. If you're a new player, you can diminish some of the materials instead of. Oops, I cannot show you the display, but I just crafted SR beads. Where are the beads? I crafted SR beads, but you can actually do the reverse. You can craft from this. You can craft more of these ones, just so that you accomplish the mission. That's a tip if you're having trouble with that. There's also missions for event, and as you can see, we have these 2 campaigns. Reduce AP cost in event, and VR points gain up in Taima 5 VR. So this is going to help you get all the points in VR, but we still have the same cap, so it is not as important. If you were already farming all the points, then it's not that impressive. And besides, there's a limit to how many we can get, so yeah, it just allows us to farm faster. Then, reduce AP cost in events is going to be very useful because we have this event. It's still available if you haven't finished it. But we have a new one. Well, I repeat. We have the Stella event. Do not miss the Stella event. This is one of the strongest supporters in the game. And when I say strongest, I don't mean the strongest. I mean most versatile supporters. It gives you 30% flat damage increase, and that's it. Not that impressive, right? It is Homuran, but without the demerit, and that's really strong. So yeah, you should definitely get that. And besides, it has UR stats, so that's good. That event has the standard rewards. It has a crystal kit at the very end, so that's another thing. Let's see. Event shop is open. Yes, event shop. As you can see, we have a special shop. To get here, you can click the banner, or you can go to store, to miss, and then events. There are some marks that you can get. They're okay. They're pretty okay. And we have 2 butterfly tickets. I'm quite disappointed. I mean, last time we received the butterfly weapons, they were a couple were free, but then you had to pay. I don't remember. You had to pay gems to actually get all of the copies. So it was still definitely worth it to get all the copies. But now they're giving us 3 free copies. I think that throughout the month they should give 5 copies at least. We'll see if that's the case or not. If not, I'm gonna be really disappointed. But they're giving us. They already gave us 1 on the arena shop. Another 1. Well, 2 more here. And we'll see if we get them on weekly missions or on a special campaign. But we need 2 more at least, Gremory. We have other good things like crystal kits, we have emblems, gacha coins. There is no limited gacha coin. What happened, Gremory? Last time there was a limited gacha coin. Well, in any case, only 2 of these? It's gonna be 6. Gremory, why so? Why so stingy? Come on, give us more of these resources. They are not easy to farm. 10 of these. Crystals, URs. Yeah, this store has the standard things, but I think they should increase the quantity and give us a couple things that are not available as usual, like the limited coins and the attribute change tickets. So yeah, I mean, it is here, and the most important thing, if you like to farm, you can actually farm a ton of gold here. It is really good. I'm going to try to clear this. Last time I couldn't, but I will try it. I hope that next week we actually receive a discount for dailies, and then I'm going to farm. So let's hope for the best. And if not a discount, at least like increased drop rate. Well, you get what I mean. A drop rate campaign. Then we have new Taimanin 5 VR boss. Yeah. So, Queen Canaloa. I don't know how to pronounce this, but this gremlin is here. And it is really unfortunate. There are many bad things about this. Number 1, here, on the VR shop. This boss doesn't have a weapon. Just, you know how Queen Arachne has the bracelet and the scepter? Well, this one doesn't offer anything yet. There are the advantages and disadvantages of that. You have a week to farm points, and you can use them for hammers, for mirage crystals, for you can save them to buy a weapon from another boss. That's actually good. Just now that they implemented the boss, but I hope that further in the future they give us the weapon. So yeah, just try to save the resources since there's nothing to spend them right now. I mean, you can get the hammers and the crystal. That's also fine, and the mirage crystal too. But you can also save them. That's super cool. Another bad thing about this boss, it doesn't offer information on the boss. Usually there's like a button where you can check the gimmick of the boss. Well, Queen Canaloa doesn't actually have that information. She does have a gimmick, and I'm gonna do a video on her when I analyze further her attack pattern and all the implications of her gimmick. But right now she is not like other VR bosses. I mean, it's fine. We know how Gremory works. They don't release everything perfectly at the time, but they improve on it. They hear our comments, our complaints, and they work on it, and they make the game better. So I hope that they manage to do something cool with this boss. And I hope that in the future they add also human and machine, a new human and new machine. they rework the VR a little bit, like extending the amount of points that we can get. That would be one excellent thing to do. Adding more items to the shop, adding the monthly shop, that would be really good. So let's see. And of course, the campaign synergizes perfectly with the release of this boss, so it's really nice. The surprise campaign commence. A surprise campaign celebrating the new boss will commence. Yeah, the VR points gain increased by 20%. Yeah, it's that thing. Repeat event. Yeah, we already checked that. And the banner. There is a repeat banner. Actually, I didn't check that. It's going to be for this character is Canade. Canade is not bad, but I wouldn't say that she's busted. It says, when performing melee attacks, damage to all enemies increases by 5% for 2 seconds, stack up to 5 times. So this is super good if you have Torajiro. You put Torajiro on the main, and you put this on the subslot, and it's going to increase the duration of those buffs. Like, usually you're able to abuse the combos to gain a huge amount of attack. But then this wears off, and then you don't have the attack, and you have to start the combo again to gain the damage. But with Torajiro, you're going to be able to keep that buff up, and you're going to have a consistent amount of damage. Big damage. Because it goes up to 50% when you stack all the buffs, and it's 5 out of 5. It's really good. Plays music for 10 seconds, deal damage at intervals, and applies 15% damage reduction effect on all damage taken and debuff immunity effect. So this active is actually pretty nice, pretty viable. The debuff immunity is particularly good. And the damage reduction is not negligible. 30% damage reduction when maxed out is amazing. So, yeah. This, should you get it? Not really. I mean, it's not a must-have like do we have her already? No, I don't think we have her. No. The red one. If I remember her name. Yeah. Fujitsuki, yeah. Fujitsuki is definitely a must-have. But Canade is not. Let's see. Pick of Gacha. Yes. And World Tour, yes. So we have new skins here. World Tour. For those who buy the Noah pack, you already have this skin. And it is, remember, even though the skins are, maybe you don't like them or whatever, it's a good way to give stats to your character. So buying them is not that bad. Actually, I already have enough gems. Perfect. Yeah, because I did like the Swiss skin. It's actually pretty nice. So, I mean, it's weird. When they are together, it makes sense. But individually, it's like, why is this skin so different from the rest? World Tour, what a theme. Let's see. Other than that, regarding the Taimanin VR issue, after maintenance, it was confirmed that the error occurred. Yeah, right now we have a problem in VR. You cannot go beyond step 280. You're asking who actually goes that far? Well, there are people who do. Asekimania for once. So you can only go up to 280, and it's going to be limited to that for a while, but it's okay. They will fix that. They already said so. And another thing, it's not here in the news, but they mentioned that there was an issue with Supernova, where Supernova is actually stronger because it's increasing its damage depending on the amount of enemies present at the stage, which I don't see that as a problem. It's actually pretty cool, but well, Grimoire is going to fix that. Let's hope that they take that as a reference and they buff Astaroth even further. That would be super nice. So yeah, that's And that's about it for the update, guys. Like, there are many things, but the most important thing that we have right now is probably Queen Canaloa, yeah. Yeah, this VR boss is going to be interesting. But as usual, when something new releases, they implement it, and they after a while they do a couple tweaks and updates so that it's more balanced and more complete. So keep that in mind. Don't be over critical about the release of this, because as you saw and as I mentioned, it doesn't have the weapon, it doesn't have the information on on their specifics. And also super important, if you want to get this, I would recommend that you get this. Yes, the skill cooldown reduction is an extremely rare effect. So if you want to invest on this, it's fine. If you want to get 2 copies maxed out, well, I would suggest that you only get 1 at most, and you wait to see its performance and wait for the rerun. If it's really that good, maybe then you can get another copy, but don't over exaggerate. Don't go overboard just because this gives a very rare effect. So yeah, that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!